what's going on, everyone? It's B. Avery here for another episode of Just My Opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And with this episode right here, it is more Disney Plus, the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 3, titled Power Broker, who has been announced a number of times in the past 2 episodes. So just to let you know, this is going to be a spoiler-filled recap, meaning if you have not seen the episode, the latest episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, subscribe to my channel, go get your Disney Plus subscription, watch the episode, then come back because I'm going to spoil this up, down, left, right, in, and out. As if you've already seen it, you have been warned. Now, if you've seen my previous reviews and recaps of the show, you know that I really did enjoy the first episode. I did not enjoy the second episode as much. I didn't think it was horrible, but I thought it was just a little bit too jokey, a little bit too humorous, especially during times in the episode where it was a serious moment where they're like in a firefight or something like that. They did have some great surprises, like the inclusion of Isaiah Bradley, the first original Black Captain America, and I thought that was really dope, and I hope that we get to see him more. So it was overall a decent episode, but I was disappointed by a number of things. But with this episode 3, I liked it better than episode 1. Not episode 1, excuse me, episode 2. I don't know if I like episode 1 better or not, but I did like it. I walked away a bit more satisfied at the end of this episode opposed to episode 2. Now, one of the things that I did like is what I'm just liking so far of what they're doing with the show is consequences after all of the previous events. I mean, we are really seeing the aftermath of what happened after the snap, after the blip, and they have this GRC, the Global Recreation Council, reset, restore, rebuild. They mentioned that in the last episode, and then there was like a little intro for this at the very, very beginning, of this episode right here. And like I said, they're global. They're just trying to put everything together. And Carly, who is one of the Flag Smashers, she's not really a fan of the GRC, as she stated in episode 2, and also this episode right here, because later on she ends up blowing up one of the facilities, with her comrade, and she was just saying like, the guy was like, oh my God, there was people sitting there. She was like, this is the only type of language that these people understand is violence or whatever. And so, of course, we're going to be getting to that. But the episode opens up on the GRC, their little programming, just to trying to let you know who they are. And then right after that, we get John Walker, who is going to Germany, Munich, Germany, to try to find where Carly is, because she's bouncing around from place to place, and she's creating allies and loyalists and things of that nature, and they're trying to hunt her down. And nobody's feeling John Walker because he gets spit in the face, and that's kind of funny to me. He's like, when he got spit in the face, I was like, okay, is this true character about to come out right now? That he's an ass and a jerk and all that good stuff. Well, not good stuff, all that bad stuff. But he kind of held his cool. I don't think anybody can just be relaxed if somebody spits in your face. I mean, that's just like one of the most ultimate disrespects out there, and I mean, that's just disgusting. I mean, even if he would have decked him, or back fist him as hard as he could with that shield, I wouldn't have gotten mad. I wouldn't have been like, man, Captain America wouldn't have done that. Or the real one, some things we just never know. And, he react, to be honest with you, I don't like John Walker, but he did react better than I would if somebody were to spit in my face. So that's interesting right there. Now, the cliffhanger that they left us on at the end of the last episode is Bucky was telling Sam, like, hey, we got to go get Zemo. Not Bucky, but Sam was like, oh, that's a horrible idea. And that picks up right here. Now, they end up breaking him out of jail. Now, I'm not going to go like bit by bit, but what I do like, as far as that scene is concerned, what I do like is they kind of fast forwarded through this scene here. They didn't spend too much time with some elaborate Ocean's 11, 12, 13 plan that takes up 20 minutes of the episode to break him out of jail. They just kind of skimmed over it. And the way they did that, it was perfectly fine. I mean, I liked it. I liked the dialogue between Bucky and Sam talking about, hey, how about a hypothetical? And it wasn't like a linear transition as far as the timeline. It was kind of going back and forth. And I like how they edited that. I like Sam's words too. He's like, wait a minute. Why do you sound so casual about this? What are you doing? Like, what did you do? And Bucky's like, I didn't do anything. That was actually kind of funny to me. And I don't think they was trying to make a joke. I think they were just speaking, but it was funny to me. I kind of got a chuckle out of that. But they ended up breaking Zemo out of jail. Now, my only complaint is it just seemed like they were too. I mean, he's a global terrorist. He's a very dangerous man. The only thing that bothers me about this is they seem like they were just a bit too relaxed, with letting him go and just walk around frolicking as he or one of them using this episode. I'm just like, I mean, I understand when you're going into certain bars and stuff like that, you have to look the part, but I would have had his ass handcuffed. I mean, he's just walking around freely so many places. He can just pull out a gun or a knife anywhere and shoot or stab one or both of them and get away. And I was also kind of saying to myself, like the whole episode, why don't you just get away, Zemo? Why don't you just run? And I think that's just because they have a common goal. Like, of course, Bucky and Sam want to stop the Flag Smashers, but because of Zemo's code, he probably wants to stop them too. Because he did in the Winter Soldier program, in Captain America Civil War, he did kill all those other super soldiers. So I'm assuming that's the only reason he just hasn't run off on his own. Because the thing about it, because even if he does want to stop the Flag Smashers, because they're icons and stuff like that, as he was talking about in the plane, does he need Bucky and Sam to do that? I mean, he's a baron. He's rich as hell. He was royalty, like he said. So I'm pretty sure it's not hard for him to hire his own henchmen if he doesn't have them already to do his dirty deeds. I mean, I'm assuming he has billions of dollars, at least millions, at least not billions of dollars at his disposal. But I also kind of got a little chuckle after the, I chuckled the second time I watched it, because at the time I'm recording this, I watched it twice. And when his butler was on the plane, that whole scene was kind of, he was like, hey, if the food doesn't pass the smell test, give it to them. But when it was talking about music in the 1940s, at first I was like, okay, here they are again trying to joke in a serious moment, blah blah blah. I really wasn't just cool to that, but I do like his little speech talking about heroes and icons and pedestals and stuff like that. And he was just basically laying out the plan, just saying, okay, hey, we got to go to Magipore. Sam was like, what's up with this place? Y'all are treating it like it's Skull Island or something like that. I do like that reference, but I kind of understand where Zemo's coming from. He's like, do we want a world where it's filled with people that's like the Red Skull? Because you can have two evil bad guys that completely disagree on the way they should be handling things. And apparently that's Zemo with Hydra, with AIM, with the Red Skull. I don't know, him and Thanos may get along. They both were purple. But anyway, moving on from there, we do get they did a name mention of Carly's mom. I'm thinking this is Carly's mom. Her name was Danya. Where is, I think I wrote it. Yeah, Danya. Well, I didn't write it down. They wrote, at one point they called her Mamadanya, and this is really where they're trying to get sympathy or us to sympathize and empathize with Carly here, just to kind of show that she is a human character, and she has emotions and feelings and stuff like that, and she cares. And I understand why she's trying to do that. I mean, why the show is trying to do that. I'm still not in love with her character yet. Maybe I will be, but she's still like just a blank character to me. Like, she's just a place filler. When I'm watching her, I'm saying to myself, okay, clearly her and her group is not the real true villains. When are they going to pop up? Which, the power broker, which they keep on talking about, they alluded to him in episode 2 and also in episode 3. But in the comics, it's all power broker has been one person, and it's also been a group of people. So I'm just really interested in where they're going to go here. Now the next scene right here was pretty decent. Having the smiling tiger, Conrad and Mac. That was kind of funny. I felt sorry for Sam. He had to drink the shot of the snake guts. I think that's completely disgusting. But they have the fight break out, and pretending like Zemo is controlling Sam. But I meant to talk about this as well. I had a prediction that as soon as as soon as Zemo saw the Winter Soldier, that he was going to try to activate him again. And as soon as he saw him, he was like 17. And I forgot the name because the list of the words, but I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure that Zemo has those memorized. And he did. And I was like, yes, I'm really happy that they tried to show him, or just to see his reaction to Sam and the words. He said 3 of them. He was, because usually when Sam, not I keep saying Sam, usually when Zemo is saying those words to try to activate Bucky's Winter Soldier killer program, assassination, mindset. As soon as he says the first 2 words, Bucky was always like, 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 oh, stop it, until he said the last one and he clicked. So he didn't do that this time. So I'm assuming, Zemo saw that and was like, okay, maybe it is gone. Because as I was watching it, I was kind of saying to myself, okay, I wish he would have said the whole thing, just to see if it would have worked. But, I'm still satisfied with this. But as Zemo was talking about the plans and stuff, they had to go see the person named Shelby. Now, when they're in the bar, everybody knew that was the Winter Soldier, because I was like, oh, it's the Winter Soldier. So I like the way that Zemo was pretending that they was controlling the Winter Soldier, but at the same time, right before he told him to attack, the guy came up and grabbed Bucky on the shoulder. Why would you go up and try to manhandle this one person by yourself, and especially if it's the Winter Soldier? Yeah, they were trying to do that for dramatic effect and to flesh out a fight scene, but it's all about the execution, So, that's not like a big gripe, but I was shrugging my shoulders just a little bit right there. Now back there when they was talking to Shelby, I was rolling my eyes. I'm like, man, how in the hell did Sam's phone go off, man? And you're like, bro, why don't you put this on silent, But they do get a name. They do get the name of Wilfred Nagel, who made the Super Soldier Serum as well. I kind of like Shelby just a little bit too. She was like, you coming to me is smart, it's arrogant, but it's smart, and it kind of just means that you're desperate as well. And for some reason, I guess, Shelby's doing dirty stuff in the streets and somebody put a hit out on her and she ends up dead. And I was just thinking to myself, man, this is going to end up bad, because when the fight broke out prior to this, there was a lady in the bar recording on the cell phone. But at the same time, this is overseas and it was a lawless land. So maybe that's not a big deal. I was kind of thinking that they was going to be like, oh, wow, Americans coming over here, bucking their chest out and stuff, But again, I mean, they established that was kind of like a lawless land. But I thought that it was going to be a big problem, because everybody was going to think that they're the ones that assassinated Shelby. Or is it Shelby or Shelby? I'm pretty sure y'all will let me know. But, they get out of there, and Sharon is the one that's saving the day. And one of my things is, I want to know why she was there in the first place. Her name, her mindset is completely changed. She's very upset right now. And I kind of don't blame her, because she's still on the run or whatever. She's like, hero stuff, that's hypocrisy and blah, blah, blah. I also found it interesting that she was talking about the fake stuff at the museum. Well, Bucket was like, yeah, half the stuff in the museum is fake. You know what I'm saying? The real stuff sits in little warehouses and shops and containers like this. But they give, I'm assuming that she still has a lot of connections, because they give her the name of Dr. William Nagel, who was able to recreate the Super Soldier Serum. However, I have a question. Y'all can let me know in the comment section. I know she has some pull, but how is she able to find the base that quick? She was like, is this container 4261? I'm like, damn, like you found that like it was just easy, I don't know how she was able to do that. Maybe you guys can help me below. But they go down there and they get kind of like an exposition dump. They don't get that much more detail from Nagel. But of course, Zemo kills them, because he doesn't want to create any more super soldier people. He wants to eliminate our heroes. So that made sense right there. But I was thinking to myself, y'all help me out. Was the fight that Sharon started on the outside necessary? Because I don't know. Were they going to go into the lab and stop them? And she actually said, guys, we're out of time and every bounty hunter in the city is here. Why is every bounty hunter in the city there? And who are they looking for? Are they looking for Sam and Bucky because they are assuming that they assassinated Shelby? But if that's the case, all they were doing was following the job, because it seemed like every bounty hunter got that text. So I'm thinking, well, maybe another job came through after. You see what I'm saying? Like, why would the bounty hunters go after Sam and Bucky if they killed Shelby, which was the job for everybody? Now, if those were Shelby's men and they were trying to get revenge or something, that would make more sense to me. Like, oh, they killed our boss. Let's go hunt them down and kill them. But they killed the person that y'all was trying to kill as well, because y'all are bounty hunters. So I don't know. Am I missing something here? Like, why and how did they show up, and why did they show up? And then did Sarah have to did Sharon, excuse me, did she have to kill them or beat them up? Like, it seemed like she blew her cover a bit too early. So I'm just kind of curious about how that went. But prior to that, Nate was talking about how he was recruited by the CIA. I think at one point Sharon was talking about, or he was talking about how they had the sample of an American, what was the word he used? An American test subject. And they're talking about Isaiah Bradley. That sounds horrible as well. They're speaking of him like he wasn't even a real person. I also noticed, why did the black man have to die so much? Syrian stabbed him like 2-3 times. Then he got shot by some type of AR. I'm like, damn, why didn't everybody else die like that? All the black people got just filled with bullets. I don't know. And why did they blow up the lab? Maybe the bounty hunters did not know that there was a lab in there and they were just trying to kill Sam and Bucky. But then again, I'm just like, why are you blowing up the lab? And, you got all this stuff in here. I don't know. I don't get it. Now, at another point in time, they were saying that Carly was calling Dr. Nagel to try to help with Danya with tuberculosis. I don't know. Now, when everything blows up, another jokey moment was when Sam was like, it's in every action movie. I don't think that was really necessary either during the serious firefight. But then we have Zemo putting on the mask and looking all iconic and stuff like that, shooting them. I'm thinking, okay, he's free. He's escaped. But no, he goes and picks up Bucky and Sam. I'm like, bro, why don't you just leave? Like, escape. Like, why are you hanging out with them? That didn't. Only thing is, I'm thinking he just wants to team up to stop the Flag Smashers and the Power Broker. But again, with you being a baron, royalty billionaire, I'm thinking that you could do that on your own. You blew up the UN, and which Sam brought up earlier, which is a great point. Like, do you think the people of Wakanda forgot about this? He blew up the UN. He blew up King T'Chaka. They're pretty pissed. Actually, what we'll talk about here in a second. But before we come into the end, just one more quick scene. The Carly and them, she's talking to her dude, and they're really trying to humanize them, and they're in front of the GRC talking about them taking the serum and how it was making the veins explode and how painful it was, et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, do you need to mourn before this? And she's gung ho like, no, we need to get this done. I'm assuming mourn because her fellow comrades sacrificed themselves in a stupid way at the end of the last episode. But they go in there, and GRC may not be this nice council that they are trying to make the world to be, because why are they sitting on 6 months of supplies if people are hungry over here and there? What are the politics behind that? I don't know. We'll have to see. But Carly is truly a villain right here, in my opinion. It could change. I don't know if the GRC people are just, evil, or they're getting bad instructions, from the people above. But she blows them up. And the person that she's with, like I was saying at the beginning of this recap, like, he wasn't down with that. Like, wait a minute. What's going on? There was people still in there. And that's when she was like, hey, this is the only type of language that they understand. So that's kind of interesting right there. But they get another, Sam, Bucky, and Zemo, they get another call, and we have a Wakandan leaving clues, and she goes up and meets with Sam in the alley, and it's Ayo. It is Florence Kasumba from the Black Panther lore, from the world. And I'm like, oh, and the episode ends, and I'm like, oh God, I want more. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it makes sense, because he did kill King T'Chaka. And so, they're one of them. They're the most intelligent group of people on the planet. So they're gonna have all the information to know that Zemo's out. Kind of like when they found out that Claw was out, and they was like, "Let's go get him." So they want to go get him too. So that makes sense to me. Now I wonder if don't jump down my throat here. I wonder if Chadwick Boseman could pop up if there was some type of cameo or something. And the reason why I say that is, of course, we know he's not here anymore. He passed, but this was filmed well before he passed away. And remember, guys, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was supposed to be the first Disney Plus show to come out. So it could be possible that, there was more footage of him. I don't know. It's possible. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I'm just saying it's possible. And I don't think that they would tell us that anyway. I think it would just be a surprise. But it was another solid episode, guys. I really did enjoy it overall. I liked it better than episode 2. I didn't hate episode 2, but I liked it a lot better than episode 2. It was good, though. I was entertained. I enjoyed it. And this cliffhanger with Ayo, Flores Kasumba at the end, I'm just like, man, they bringing the Dora Milaje in this thing. The Wakandans, Black Panther, And so I can't wait to see what happens. We have 3 episodes left. And and Sam really hasn't even taken on the role of Captain America yet. I can't wait to see him get the shield and him flipping around and training. I really hope that he goes back and talks to Isaiah Bradley about taking on the mantle of Captain America. Prior to the show, I really didn't care for him to take on the mantle, but now I want him to, the way things are playing out, with these episodes. But it was another solid episode, guys. Again, I was able to talk to Anthony Mackie and the writer, Malcolm Spellman. So if you do want to see that interview, please subscribe to my channel and go, click on that video and check that out. It was put up by Africa, and also you can click right here. It's going to pop up here, and eventually you can just go ahead and click that link. But guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. That is just my opinion. I hope you liked the episode like I did, but all these things are subjective, hence, that's just my opinion. But if you liked the video, please go ahead and give me that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on social media. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.